Hi y'all, Terry Gigi here. I had to make a trip to Florida quite unexpectedly. Scott and I jumped in the car Thanksgiving afternoon and drove all night to get here, which I do not suggest. It was horrible, but we made it, and Scott stayed about 4 days, and then he had to head home, caught a flight back to Houston, because then he had to catch another flight to Denver for a business trip. So I stayed here, but I love it because I have my car. Sometimes when things happen in life that are really difficult and hard, in the midst of it, there's all kind of pockets of goodness if you bother to look, if you are willing to admit that it's not all bad. Okay, but sometimes you focus and it's all bad, all bad, all bad. And I did do that for about 2 days and I almost killed myself. Well, not literally. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. But I was just, what do they say? Beside myself. And then I started seeing pockets of goodness. You want to hear my pockets of goodness? In a very bad situation, I got to spend tons of time with my grandkids, which has been a blast. I have gotten to spend time with both my daughters, which has been great. I just spent the night with my friend Daddy Ann, 2 nights, just for fun, because Barry was traveling. We've had coffee, wine, we made dinner last night, or she made dinner last night. We had so much fun just catching up, and I got to see my other friends too one evening. And you know, it's just like, what started off as the most horrible thing in the whole world has turned out to be kind of okay. And it's going to be fine. You know, God is at work no matter what your situation is. If, you know, you believe in God and you turn to Him and you know, He's at work. But sometimes you have to look real hard to find Him, okay? And I'm sure you know that. And He's there regardless, but sometimes you just don't feel it. And you can't go by your feelings. You just have to accept He's here, He's at work. Things are going at some point work out. And I saw a quote the other day, and it said something like, I laugh at myself when I think how long I've been waiting for my stress-free life to start. It's never going to be that way. You know what I mean? We have stress now. No matter what, there's stress. Everyone. I went through my friends the other day, each person, and I can name huge, ginormous things that are happening in their life that are awful, and that, you know, it's just, that's just the way it is. And so you got to learn to cope and keep going. That's kind of all I know to do anymore, is just keep on keeping on. Keep going, keep trying, keep praying, keep living the life that you think God wants you to live. And yeah, so I just wanted to get on and talk about pockets of goodness. And you know, we've done Christmas. I've done a lot of Christmas shopping because I'm here. I've been here a week, and I'm not going to be leaving for a couple of more days. So I'm going to be gone almost 2 weeks, which is awful that it's this time of year. Scott and Wes are getting a tree tomorrow. I'm putting the tree up and putting the lights on, or today, and putting the lights on, and then they're not going to decorate it till I get home. But, you know, that's good. That's okay. I can handle it. We didn't take a single artificial tree that we had with us. We got rid of all of them. So we decided to get a real tree this year, which I think will be fun. Now, yes, I wish I was there to pick it out, but the men can handle it, right? But another pocket of goodness, I got to go with Lexi and Colin to buy their first tree the other night. And it was hilarious. They're so funny. And so it's their first Christmas tree. Another pocket of goodness. I collected, Scott and I, for years and years and years and years, collected little houses, like, you know, little Christmas houses. I mean, we had a bunch, y'all. Tons, like more than 50. And so when we were moving, we knew that we didn't have time, we didn't have a place in our townhome to put the little houses up. So we just took a section. We took what we call our mountain town. We had a mountain town that we had, you know, bought pieces to invent a mountain town. It's got a lake and all this stuff. So that's all we took. So I had about 20 something left, 25, 30 left. And so I gave them, Megan took all of them, and I said, try to sell them. If you can sell them, we'll split the profits. If you go to the trouble to sell them, we'll split the profits. Well, she put them online, she put them here, she put them there, Craigslist. Nobody wants my houses. And we were giving them away practically. But deep down inside, I was so upset because I thought, you know, I thought my kids liked the houses. I thought they enjoyed the houses and that they would want to inherit the little houses, you know, sort of like that. Well, all of a sudden, y'all, all these houses are stacked up in Megan's breakfast room against the wall. Lexi calls me while I'm here. No, I was in Tampa. I was in Tomball. I was in Houston. I don't even know where I am. And she said, Mom, do you have any little houses? I would like some. Now, let me explain. At this point, I didn't know if Megan had sold them yet. And I had asked Lexi about 1,000 times, and Megan, do you want the little houses? Okay. This week, Lexi came to Megan's and got about 10 of the houses. She has made a precious village on top of her TV. We had a platform built to go on top of our big screen TV, and Colin and Lexi have this giant TV in their little apartment. But she made the most beautiful village. Then Luke and Layla went through the pile and they picked out. So each of my girls now have about 10 to 15 houses, and they're going to actually put them up and use them. And it just touches my heart. And you know, someday if Wes gets married and he wants some houses, he can have the outdoor village houses, the outdoor scene. So it just worked out perfect, and it just makes me so happy that they're going to continue to be used. And that's another pocket of goodness that, you know, I don't know. It's just, if you knew what's been going on in my life, you would think, how are you even functioning? I don't know. But I just wanted to leave you with that note. And so during this holiday season, you know, sometimes the holidays can be super, and this video is too long. Oh, it's 7 minutes. The holidays can be super depressing for some people. It depends on what's happening in your life now, what happened in the past. Maybe it's your first Christmas without your mom around, or your dad, or your husband, or something horrible, tragic has happened, and it's a horrible, you are picturing a horrible Christmas or whatever. You know, our Christmas totally changed this year. We're alone, you know, but we'll probably go to my mom's, but nothing's going to be the same this year. We had the same kind of Christmas for so many years here in Florida. You know, my mom's house was Christmas Eve with the big prime rib, and everything was beautiful and fabulous. And then Christmas Day was at Megan's. And then a few days before Christmas, I would have a big thing and do like taco soup or something, and we would do family photos against the wall that I covered in wrapping paper. You know, I'm so glad I built all those memories for everybody, but this year, I don't even have a wall that I could put everybody around, and nobody's going to be there. You know, it's just different. But this week has proven to me there's going to be pockets of goodness in your holiday. It could just be walking through the mall and hearing the music and seeing some decorations and feeling that spirit of Christmas. You know, I don't mind Christmas being commercialized. I think it's wonderful. I don't think there's a problem with having Santa and Jesus at Christmas. We do both, obviously. It's about Jesus, Christmas, Christmas, holidays, holy days. It's about Jesus, but all the other stuff is just wonderful. I'm not going to stress. I don't care if people say happy holidays. I could care less. Happy holidays to you too. Have a Merry Christmas. I don't even think about it, actually. I don't really care. I don't care. I don't care if Starbucks just made their cup red. Who cares? Live. Have a good life. Anyway, here's another pocket of goodness. Speaking of finding something good. It was a particularly not good day. And Scott and I took Luke and Layla, and Lexi and Colin, we all went to International Plaza, which is our beautiful mall here in Tampa. And when we got there, you know, they went off shopping and everything. Well, I saw Santa Claus was there. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the picture. But the kids, it was like December 1st, so it was kind of early, but the kids just went, oh, can we see Santa? Can we see Santa? And I know that my daughter would, I knew she would not care if I took them, because they could always go again, you know. And I took them to see Santa. Spur of the moment. They weren't dressed for it, you know, but they just had their dumb clothes on, you know, their regular clothes on. They weren't dressed up. Well, we went inside, no, and there was no line. We were third in line. Imagine that. Here in our mall at Brandon, you can pay for a Santa Fast Pass. That's how crazy it gets here with Santa. How many people are in line? It's horrible. $25 for a Fast Pass. Really? It's getting out of control. Now, that's a commercialization I don't think is good. Anyway, we got in line, and you go in this dome, in this big, huge room, and then you go through, and then you see Santa. Well, we went in there. Well, it was snowing in there. Like snow is falling from the ceiling. And there's about this much snow all over the floor in this little dome. Well, the kids lay in it, make snow angels in it. They're throwing it. They are covered in this fake snow. And they're fixing to see Santa. And I keep trying to brush them off. Well, they can't resist. They're blowing the snow. It's beautiful. It's so fun. So finally, I brushed it off them enough. And then they went and saw Santa, and it was just the cutest picture you've ever seen. I wasn't going to buy it, you know, because I knew they'd go again. Well, I couldn't resist it. So $25 later, I had two teeny tiny pictures of them, but so cute. So I took one, and I framed one for my daughter and her husband, you know, Craig. And so what a pocket of goodness. I got to take my grandkids to see Santa. I wasn't even supposed to see them at all in December or January even. We were planning on them coming like spring break. There's another pocket of goodness that's happened this week that I'm not going to share yet, but it's the biggest one of all. So anyway, it's been 12 minutes for me to tell you, no matter what, there is good to be found, okay? And let me close with this. And I'm not editing this. I'm not putting an intro. I'm putting it straight to YouTube. Because my computer and everything. And I may do phone videos for a while. But here's what I want to leave you with as well. Is I'm not sure what's going to happen in my life. And those cars were pulling out in front of me. In the near future. I'm not sure what's going down. But what I am sure of is that, what I'm not sure of is that my video schedule. I know I'm not going to finish my series till January. I don't know how many videos I will do between now and January, so I'm just letting you know. If I don't show up till January, nothing's wrong. Well, nothing has happened. I'm not, you know, anyway. That's what I'm going to be. I'm just don't know. So there's not going to be, I don't know. There may be 10 videos. It just depends. But be prepared for no videos for a while. And then I'll come back. I'll do a Christmas haul. And then I'm going to do a bullet journal update because I've got a new bullet journal ready to go for January. And I want to do a new, and I want to finish my series. But right now, it's just going to be potluck, as my channel always is. Potluck. You